The 80s really let movies get away with things. These 10 pushed straight past common sense and left us with alien births, naked jigsaw puzzles, taekwondo rock bands, killer trucks, and some of the strangest movies ever put on screen. No, this isn't the friendly alien version of the 80s, where the visitor glows a little and everyone learns something gentle by the end. Xtro hit British video shops right when the video nasty panic was kicking off, and you can see why people lost their minds over the tape. It had already passed uncut in cinemas with an 18 certificate, but home video meant these images weren't tucked away in a theater anymore. They were sitting under the telly, ready to ruin somebody's evening. A fully grown naked man being born out of a terrified woman is already a lot. Then the movie adds a slow, painful monster transformation, with the body twisting against itself like the effects crew wanted you to feel every second of it. After that, the whole alien abduction angle feels dirty in a way E.T. never prepared anyone for. Xtro takes alien contact out of the sky, drags it through the front door, and makes home feel like the worst place it could have landed. In pieces, the killer's entire master plan involves slicing through the campus with a chainsaw to literally tape different people together. Welcome to the absolute basement of 80s sleaze. They shot the film in Spain, slapped some stock footage over it to fake a Boston college, and dubbed the audio so poorly that nobody sounds like a real human being. Some guy randomly attacks an undercover cop with kung fu for absolutely zero reason. The authorities in the UK panicked and slapped this on their video nasty list. They pulled the VHS tapes from stores like they were a literal hazard to society. They weren't entirely wrong. The whole film just feels completely dirty. It's loud, totally incompetent, and stuffed with some of the worst dialogue ever recorded. But the energy never drops. You don't put this on expecting a real plot. You put it on to watch a bunch of filmmakers completely lose their minds on camera. Drug-dealing motorcycle ninjas are taking over Florida, and the only line of defense is a synth rock band made up entirely of taekwondo orphans. Director Y.K. Kim paid for Miami Connection himself, and genuinely thought it was going to change the world. He just took his actual martial arts students, threw them in front of a camera, and ran on this absolute belief that positive music and high kicks could save the world. The execution falls apart constantly. The dialogue sounds completely alien, and the sword fights mostly look like a dangerous backyard hobby getting way out of hand. But nobody on screen looks embarrassed. They're singing these incredibly earnest songs about loyalty, then going out to fight guys in tight denim with total conviction. After a while, you actually stop laughing at the mistakes. The heart in this movie just beats you down. A kid gets scared bald by ghosts and ends up kidnapped in a hair sweatshop. Yeah, that's the real plot. The peanut butter solution proves absolutely nobody was supervising 80s family entertainment. The setup already sounds broken. An 11-year-old boy loses his hair from sheer terror. Then he gets a secret recipe from the dead to grow it back, but uses too much peanut butter, and his hair starts growing out of control. Then it gets worse. His hair grows so long that his creepy art teacher abducts him, and this supposedly light children's movie suddenly turns into an actual hostage situation where kids are forced to manufacture magic paintbrushes against their will. And somehow, Celine Dion sings the theme song like that's gonna make any of this feel normal. You sit there wondering who looked at ghost hair loss, kidnapping, and forced magic paintbrush labor and said, yeah, kids will love this. And his coat even looks like it might be made from the kid's hair, which is such a deranged visual detail that you almost don't want the movie to explain it. If you saw this as a kid in the 80s, you probably still have nightmares. It feels less like a real movie and more like a cruel prank pulled on a whole generation. A hippo with a Tommy gun walks into a packed theater and starts mowing down puppet performers. That's Meet the Feebles. And somehow, that's not even the strangest thing in the movie. And the wildest part is who made it. Just think about Peter Jackson for a second. Long before anyone handed him a blank check for Middle-earth, he was spending his time making sure a foam latex frog could have a complete Vietnam flashback. Meet the Feebles operates on pure, unsupervised nerve. It honestly might be the single most batshit crazy piece of puppet anarchy ever caught on tape. Jackson and his crew basically lived in a studio, hand-building these grotesque creatures on zero money, pushing dirty jokes until the materials practically started rotting on camera. A morning kids show caught an incurable disease. They gave the cast drug habits, STDs, and fully loaded weapons, then just let the cameras roll to see what would break first. Nobody ever stepped in to pull the plug. You sit there trying to figure out how anyone had the audacity to push this through.
Eat leg, you man-stealing slut!
Let alone a guy who eventually walked away with a pile of Oscars. A studio watched disgusting little trading cards get banned in schools, and somehow decided the Garbage Pail Kids movie should be a family comedy. The cards were a playground rebellion. Teachers confiscated them, kids obsessed over them, and executives smelled an easy payday. But forcing that joke into live action completely backfires. Instead of anarchic gross-out comedy, they made a depressing sweatshop drama about grotesque mutants sewing clothes in a basement. When the kids escape, they get hunted down and thrown into the state home for the ugly, an actual prison for people who look bad. The dead fiberglass eyes make every scene feel wrong. For something aimed at children, this is one of the most disturbing movies the 80s ever got away with. Someone actually convinced a studio the best weapon against a foreign threat was a guy in a tracksuit doing backflips.
Good morning, Princess.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Gymkata shows what happens when an intelligence briefing turns into a gymnastics meet. To secure a satellite, the government needs someone to survive a medieval death race. Instead of a mercenary, they send real-life gymnast Kurt Thomas. They assume a guy who sticks a landing can handle an army of assassins. Every fight bends around his skill set. He dodges danger with back handsprings and turns whatever's nearby into gym equipment. And the craziest part is they actually mean it. Nobody thought they were making a comedy. They filmed a dead serious thriller which accidentally makes it hilarious. Kurt Thomas, spinning on a stone pommel horse, kicking villagers in the face, is the whole movie in one shot. Ridiculous, sincere, impossible to defend, and impossible to forget. By 1986, Stephen King wasn't just a horror writer anymore. He was basically his own industry, which meant eventually somebody was going to hand him a camera and let him direct. Maximum Overdrive feels like that decision going completely off the rails in real time. Trucks circle a diner like wild animals. A vending machine fires soda cans at children. Then that giant green goblin face rolls into frame on the front of a semi, grinning like the movie accidentally found the perfect symbol for its own insanity. King later admitted he was deep in addiction during production, and you can feel that jittery energy everywhere. Scenes don't build tension so much as slam into each other. Then AC/DC starts blasting over the soundtrack like the apocalypse wandered into a truck stop with a jukebox. It's loud, sweaty, ridiculous, and exactly the kind of studio disaster only the 80s could produce. Roar is one of the most dangerous productions ever attempted, and you can see why almost straight away. These weren't normal movie animals doing safe little tricks. Noel Marshall and Tippi Hedren had a house full of lions, tigers, leopards, black panthers, and elephants, and they tried to turn that into a family adventure. That alone is insane. They lived around these animals for years, thinking if everyone got close enough, the danger could be managed. But when you watch the movie, nobody looks comfortable. People are grabbing furniture, ducking away, covering their heads, and trying to finish scenes while huge animals wander wherever they want. John DeBont's camera feels like it's just trying to stay alive. Around 70 cast and crew members were injured, and once you see the footage, that number doesn't feel shocking. It feels obvious. Roar doesn't feel directed. It feels survived. This could only happen in that weird little window before someone with sense stepped in and said, "No, you're not making a family movie with wild animals walking all over the cast." Honestly, it's a miracle nobody got killed. Nobody would make this now. And after watching it, that's probably for the best. People barely talk about Society, but I seriously love it. It hits that exact same nerve as They Live. Only here, nobody needs magic sunglasses to see the truth. The whole thing operates as an absolute cult classic masterpiece, mostly because it takes high society and literally turns it inside out. Society might be the most visually repulsive takedown of the upper class the 80s ever put on camera. Billy Warlock walks through spotless Beverly Hills rooms. Everyone's smiling, everyone talking like they've rehearsed how normal they're supposed to sound. You feel something rotten sitting underneath the country club dinners. Then the shunting happens, and the movie stops hinting at what lies beneath the fake smiles. Screaming Mad George's practical effects turn the whole class war idea into a wet, crowded room of flesh feeding through each other. The movie finally shows what it thought these people were the whole time. They meant it as satire. The older you get, the less made up it feels. People always say truth is stranger than fiction. When you look at how the real world actually operates at the very top, which one do you think this is? The 80s really got away with things nobody would even pitch now. Subscribe to VintageVerse for more forgotten disasters, cult nightmares, and late-night movie insanity that somehow slipped through the cracks and made it onto screens forever.